our class of 2016 video today, you guys, was I thought I actually restored someplace around 40 or 50 really early timber frame slicks and chisels last year. And these are a few that I had left that I kept for myself. The rest of the stuff I sold to the guys in our group and also to students that came to class last year. So I thought I would show these few off because they're all special pieces. Certainly this is an 18th century slick, and it's just such a fine piece. You can see the heavily stamped name in there of the blacksmiths that did it. The socket is all hand forged and all hand worked, and it's razor sharp. It's absolutely razor sharp. So I outfitted it with a really cool tiger maple handle, which I turned on our 19th century lathe. So I thought I'd show that one off. Anyway, I'll show all of these off. We have a local leather guy that does these scabbards for me. Once again, this is a Watts. It was made in New York. Can you imagine a blacksmith shop in the center of New York? This handmade slick, look how short it is, you guys. It's from 200 years of timber framing. Look at the hand forging where the socket was rolled around. And once again, I outfitted it with a nice piece of tiger maple with a cannonball handle. So these are really, really early pieces. Another one, now what I started to do last year, you guys, I started to restore some of these old chisels and make them into slicks. Because we find ourselves pairing and tuning up a joint or cleaning up a mortise. We always find ourselves doing it with our 2-inch or our 1.5 inch. So I said to myself, why don't we put some long handles on some of these nice old 2-inch and 1.5 inch chisels? And you cannot believe the torque that you get on this when you're pairing. Again, they're all very sharp. They're all razor sharp. You should be able to cut yourself with your tools. And I'm certainly not going to demonstrate that, but I have cut myself many times. And as you can see, this chisel looks like it's had a hard life. The socket up here doesn't look perfect. But you know, when you restore one of these timber frame tools, it's really a rich piece of American history. You can see the lamination comes all the way back up to here, which would have been a harder piece of steel that came from most likely Sheffield, England. The rest of it would be pig iron or wrought iron, which is a softer, would have been a softer alloy than the cutting part. But turning these 2-inch chisels, these antique 2-inch chisels, into just these great little slicks, there's so much leverage and control that you can get with one. So this is 3-inch fire hose. We put a wooden bottom in it, and we used some copper nails to nail the wooden bottom in. And once again, just a nice DR Barton, which was Nashua, New Hampshire. Just a 2-inch chisel that I restored, sharp as a razor. You can see the lamination right from where it was sharpened. And a piece of walnut with a clothespin, sort of an end on it, decorative that way. And actually these also, this is a very early 19th century chisel, John Pike. Look at the hard life this thing has. But these are maker marks, and it actually has a fishtail. If you look at this thing, it gets wider at the end. That's the sure sign of an 18th century or very early 19th century chisel, made into a slick. And again, so much leverage that you can get with this. So you wouldn't hit these with a mallet. It's just for pushing. Another great example of maple handle, and I turned it into what's an 1.5 inch slick. So much control and so much leverage. They're a pleasure to work with. Another one, another 2-inch one in its scabbard. This is probably 1840. This is probably 1860. Here was I had some fun decorating this scabbard with the original 13 colonies, join or die. The Snake of Freedom. Again, this is without question an early 19th century or 18th century slick. Look at how this is forged into the cutting steel, all by hand. Just an incredible piece. And I turned this new walnut handle for it. It has a hand rub finish. And last but not least, an 1.25 inch James Swan which was made in Seymour, Connecticut. And it is such a pleasure to use this when you're doing handwork on your mortise and tenon joinery. So you guys, I just wanted to show off to end our video today what you can do with some of these antique tools. You don't need a fancy lathe to turn these handles. You just need some good sharp turning tools and a little bit of imagination. And hey, I hope you guys consider taking our 2016 edition of the Northford Timber Framers this year. The third week in April. Check our website out for the dates. And you won't regret taking our class. Our class is always a successful endeavor. We're working on a really cool project this year. And hey, we'll see you around on YouTube. Thank you. Boy, I wouldn't forget you, buddy.